So we're at an old Boy Scout camp today. This part of it is pretty run down. We found a whole bunch of relics here before. They really extended the camp. It's still in use, but they really extended the camp down farther and cleared a whole bunch of areas. But you could see a lot of it. It's been a few years since it's been used. I found silver here before, large cents here before, a lot of Boy Scout related stuff here before. Before this was a Boy Scout camp, it was like a campground in the early 1900s, which was cool. The person who owned it passed away and donated it to the Boy Scouts of America. So we're here today with the new X-TERRA Elite. So we're going to take a quick look at the menu and what this machine is about, and then we're going to do some hunting, see what we find. So the X-TERRA Elite, just like the X-TERRA, comes with these, a V12, I don't think it's available yet, but a V10, V8, and all the Equinox coils will work on this machine. It is a nice looking machine. This is the finalized version that finally came in. I like the gray that they did here. It has the X-TERRA style collapsible shaft. It's not the carbon fiber that's on the Equinox. The V12, I really like that. That V12 was my favorite coil for the Vanquish series. And I was asking MINELAB for a few years, like, hey, give us that on an Equinox style machine or make an adapter or something. But this is the machine here. So what is the X-TERRA Multi? The X-TERRA Multi is an Equinox 900, 700 with less features. If you are a person that turns on their Equinox and just goes, this might be the machine for you as a backup or a primary machine. I was really impressed with everything that they gave us in this new X-TERRA Elite. We'll go through that all. We have volume adjustment, ferrous volume adjustment, multiple tones. I think all the tone options that are on the Equinox series. Iron filter. Iron filter is very impressive. I'll show you that in a clip here once we go through the menu. I've put it through my test guard, and that iron filter, man, it just knocks out that big iron. And on the other side of that, we have some negative iron filter to really help with the unmasking, and still does a good job on the nails too. So let's turn this thing on, take a look at what we're getting here. But if you are a person, and I was always like this, I would set my Equinox to 5-tone and an iron filter of 0 or 1 and go. I didn't really mess with tone buckets and stuff like that. As a relic hunter, I would like the 2 tones or the 5 tones and just head off. You have everything in this machine. One of the things that came up during testing, I was like, you know, this machine is a lot of what people need by itself. The performance right there with the Equinox, and what they did with the iron filter here is really, really incredible. So let's turn it on, we'll take a look. Okay, so just like the Equinox lineup, you have a power button, and the X-TERRA lineup, you have a power button right there. It's going to default with the light off. You can turn the light on. Let's take a quick look at our modes. So we have Park 1, Park 2, Field 1, Field 2, Beach 1, Beach 2. All right, from the home screen, if we go into settings, we have a noise cancel. Hit accept reject. It'll run right through the noise cancel. So the next icon over from noise cancel is our ground balance. So MINELAB recommends leaving this at 0. If you do have some noise in your ground, you'll notice by raising and lowering the coil. I do have a little bit here. So you can manually adjust this ground balance, or you can hold accept reject and pump it. All right, so we just mic'd up the X-TERRA Elite now just to demonstrate volume. So the next icon over from ground balance is your volume. So with the X-TERRA Elite, you have volume, and I'm over a target there. Okay, so, and if you hold down the settings button, we're gonna go into ferrous volume. So we have an iron, ferrous is iron, so we have an iron volume with that. And you can see how it goes up and down with the volume. All right. We'll keep it about 10. And if you hold settings again, that takes you back to your volume, your main volume, and you can hit pinpoint and back out to the main menu. All right, next icon over from volume is our threshold. So the X-TERRA Elite does have a threshold volume, and that's a background hum. You can hear that. So that'll hum. And it'll also blank out if you have a target that's rejected. We don't have any targets rejected right now, but I can back out of this and go to horseshoe like that, knock out some of that. Hear that? So the machine is going over some iron right there, and the threshold is blanking out, but we're not hearing it because we have iron rejected on the screen. And you do that by the horseshoe right here. Letting iron in, hear the iron, we'll knock it out again, and it's gone. All right, so there's a look at our threshold volume. Next icon over from threshold volume is the number of tones. So we have in the X-TERRA Elite 1 tone, 2 tone, 5 tone, all tones, which is going to give you 99 different tones, or a pitch. See that? We even have depth pitch on the X-TERRA Elite. This is all tone. All tone is going to give you a different tone for every VDI. 5 tone, 5 different tones. 2 tone, which is great for relic hunting. I like it whether it's either ferrous or non-ferrous. So everything is going to sound like this if it's in my discrimination pattern. And then if I go back to the main screen, except in iron, so we have iron tone and then a non-ferrous tone. Right, the next icon over from that is our accept reject. So our accept reject is going to, we're going to either accept in targets or take them out. And they work in 4 VDI blocks on the X-TERRA Multi. All right, now if we hold down the settings button, we're actually going to go into T1, which is our iron, and this is going to let us bring all the way up. This is going to be great for people who like to cherry pick or knock out some, or bring in some segments into the iron range. We can go all the way up with this as high as we want, and in 2-tone, this will now give us an iron tone on everything in that bucket. That target that was here is now gone. But if we were to go into anything higher than that ID, it would come in as a good tone. So now we have 68 and below coming in as an iron tone. We're going to just lower that down because we're not going to be given an iron tone for that much, but it's great for relic hunting. So the next icon over is recovery speed. We have 1, 2, and 3. 1 is going to be our deepest setting, so it's going to punch a little deeper. This will be good for non-trashy ground, maybe a clean park, clean field. The tone is going to be a little longer. Got to sweep a little slower. It's not going to pull from the trash and iron as well as, say, a recovery speed 2, which is a good median right there, good depth, good separation. And recovery speed 3 is for really trashy areas where it's going to pull from the iron. It's going to help unmask. It's going to shoot and shoot and shoot and shoot instead of a longer tone. You'll notice a longer tone with recovery 1. Let's see if we can demonstrate that. Hear that? Recovery 2. Faster. Recovery 3. Much faster. If you hold down settings from recovery speed, you will see FE. FE is our iron filter. On the X-TERRA Elite, we actually have a -1. This is very, very impressive. I'll show you a demo of that. 2-gram piece of gold. Nail. Nail. And the piece of gold with the nail next to it. That is recovery speed 3 and an FE of -1. -1 really pulls from the iron, really unmasks well. What's a benefit of it? You can be in an iron loaded site and this machine will find that non-ferrous next to nails. Okay, one of the drawbacks is you may be getting some popping and false signals on nails. So use it, it's really site dependent. So we have -1, 0, 1, and 2. So a lot of machines are good at telling iron on the surface, right? Here's a horseshoe, right? That's a big chunk of iron. And even with an FE of -1, right, we're getting some chopping. It knows something's going on there. And when you turn on it, we get an iron tone. Our problem is deep iron that creates a halo around it. So this is a rusty iron side step that's been in the ground for a while. So I'm at FE -1, which is going to be an awesome unmasker, but these targets will start to sound really good. But having the option to go up and test, or say you don't want to dig any large iron, you can adjust with the X-TERRA Elite for that as well. So here's that deep iron side step. See, that's a non-ferrous tone. That sounds good. We'll just go to 1, FE1. Now the X-TERRA Elite knows that that's iron. Getting a -1 ID. Great option to have on a machine. Okay, so -1 is going to be our best unmasker. 0, good. 1 is really going to help with the big iron, as well as 0. And then 2 is going to really give you optimization when it comes to nails being called nails, deep iron being called deep iron, so we're not getting those high tones, but you are going to impact your separation. On a trashy site like this, you'd probably want to stick with 0 or 1, unless you want to clean it out. If you want to clean this site out and you don't mind digging some nails, that -1 is really going to help you pull from the iron. All right, so let's take a look at the buttons here and what everything does. So you have a power button, tap it once, turn it off, tap it once, turn it on. All right, if you hold this button down from the off position until it says FP, that will factory preset the X-TERRA Elite. All right, so we're factory preset there. We turn the backlight on by this button. We have a high, low, off. All right, so we'll leave that on high for now. Now our main screen here, we have our mode adjustment. So that's going to take us from Park 1, Park 2, Field 1, Field 2, Beach 1, Beach 2. This is waterproof up to 16 feet. From here we have our all metal mode. That's our horseshoe, so we can tap that on and accept everything in, tap it off, and it'll go back to the discrimination pattern that we set up. The center button here is our pinpoint. Tap it once, it stays in pinpoint. You can see the top's reading where it's right over the target. So the next button over from pinpoint is our frequency button. So on the X-TERRA Elite, you have a choice between multi and 15 kilohertz. So single frequency of 15, which is a good all-around frequency, or multi, which runs the full multi-IQ spectrum as the Equinox 700 and 900. So one up from frequency is our accept reject. If you go over a target, and you can see that I've rejected a couple already. If you go over a couple and you want to take it out, you just hit accept reject and it takes it out and starts blinking. Now one thing with this is that to get it back in, you have to go over to your accept reject tab and then start scrolling over and let them back in by hitting accept reject. And now they're all back in. And you can hit pinpoint to go back to the main menu. So now everything is in. If I hit horseshoe, it's all metal, which will let in the iron with the iron tone that we've adjusted, and hit the horseshoe again to go back to our discrimination pattern. So our top left button here that looks like a Wi-Fi symbol is to connect wireless headphones. If they are already paired, you just tap this once and it'll search for them. The X-TERRA Elite uses the same headphones as the Equinox 700, 900, and the Manicore. And if they are paired, when you do this and turn on your headphones, they'll connect. To connect them, you hold down this button and you'll hear it go into a beep mode, which means it's in pairing mode. See that? Now if I were to hold the button down on my headphones and to put them in pairing mode, they would pair up together. So the X-TERRA Elite also has a flashlight in the front and a vibrating handle. To turn on the flashlight, all you do is you hold down the same button that you would turn the backlight on, and you just hold it down. And that will turn on our flashlight. Hold it down again, and that'll turn it off. So that'll be good for people who like hunting at night. The handle to vibrate, just go over to your main volume screen, which is the third icon in, and hit the frequency button. You'll see the two lines up top. That shows that vibration is active. And hit frequency again to turn it off, and then pinpoint to go right back to your detect screen. All right, so we're gonna do some hunting now. I've been messing with settings, so let me just factory preset this by holding down the power button. We'll go over to Park 2, which is the second one over. We'll turn on our backlight, and we'll do some hunting. So the tools that I'm using today, this is an Excalibur shovel. Excalibur makes some great shovels there. Profine, one of my favorite pinpointers, a Profine 35, which has an iron rejection built in. Gives you a different tone on iron. And this is a Predator 31C digger. Doesn't have any blades on the side, but it's okay for this, and it's one of my favorite hand diggers. So let's load up and go find some targets. We have a nice sounding target right here, 73. That is, looks like just a pretty beat up penny. Yep, that's a penny. So this is ringing in the 80s. 81, 82, hitting up to 85. That is a dime. All right, we're making some money now. Another dime. Well, at least they're not all pennies. This one's in quarter range. So that took a whole bunch of digging around that root, but that is, I don't think it's heavy enough to be real. Yeah, I was able to clean off the sides, but it's gonna take a bunch to get this out. But I think this is for a cap gun, for a kid's toy gun. And that was probably down there for a while. Very cool. Yeah, it's just a toy. Well, that's cool. Some history related to the site. That's not a coin. That's what I like finding. This sounds really good. Oof, look at that. That's 5 tones. So I'm in 5 tones, FE1, and recovery speed of 2. Oof, that sounds good. Oh, right there. Oh, there's our first quarter of the day. This sounds really good. We're gonna dig this one. Live dig this one. Oh, rock right there. Nothing's very deep here. That's good because there's a lot of roots. Yeah. Oh, another quarter. Making the money. All right, I gotta head out of here. The sky is gonna open up on me any minute. It's already starting to drizzle, but there's a look at the MINELAB X-TERRA ELITE. This thing is the same as an Equinox 700 or 900 with just a couple less features. But to me, not the important features. It's got iron filter, iron volume, recovery speed. You can notch out if you want to. All the Equinox coils work with it. I mean, this is a great time to be in the hobby. We are getting better and better machines for less money. If you have any questions about it, put them below. Everyone, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.